Hello, and welcome to Social Media and Ourselves, a 100-level month-long course for the University of Arizona's eSociety program. I'm Diane Daly, and I'm an instructor and a doctoral student for the university. And while this class is limited to registrants at the University of Arizona, I'm making some of my lectures available to members of my social network and the public. So what I've assigned for this week one of our course, might seem like a baffling array of resources, but this is no accident. Social media today is the drawing of connections across just such a baffling array. And any analysis of social media will also be the drawing of connections across media and its usage. The first thing I'd like you to grasp about social media is that information and media have always entered our human brains through the minds and bodies of other humans. Information and knowledge is and has always been social. It's important that you, as early students in this program, understand that no level of expertise, whether technological or academic, can make sense of such an array as we're looking at without imposing both personal and societal choices. This is one grand process of sense-making, and that is what I will be teaching social media is all about. This sense-making of social media and ourselves, as I conduct it here, will come at you in a variety of formats. The Machine is Using Us video introduces a related and essential concept in understanding digital information, which is that it endeavors to fully isolate content from form, in part so that the same content can be presented in infinite formats. This lecture, for example, I'm composing it right now in text, or actually I'm speaking it right now in video, after I composed it in the text, but I may also read it aloud on video, is what I wrote before, and upload it to YouTube. You see how there's two different formats for the same content, right? Well, let's say I include in the video an image of the written text as I read it. Now it seems the video itself has become new content, including but also wrapping up the old content. The old content is dressed also in the tone with which I speak it. Its meaning to you influenced maybe by what I'm wearing or how I appear to you. It's a new kernel of content now. If one of you introduces this new kernel of content to your social network and types a few words of thought above it, whether positive or negative, it gets wrapped in your opinion, dressed in your presentation to others of it on your social network. It gets repackaged in your sense-making. And by the way, your social network is comprised simply of the people that you associate with. A social networking site is Facebook or Twitter or another platform with similar characteristics. So let's approach this week's content for our course. One of the oldest human sense-making tactics is storytelling. I chose the TED Talks and videos featuring Clay Shirky and Juan Enriquez, as well as the book chapters by Dana Boyd and Paulo Gerbaudo, in part because of the information contained within their content. But I also chose them because they use sense-making storytelling. They use storytelling as a tactic of sense-making. I feel like storytelling delivers information in a way that compels us to add our own knowledge to it and pass it on. And that is exactly what I'm hoping you will do with what you learn in this course. There will, of course, be some expectations for regurgitation as well, and some assignments requiring that you rehash back to me the same information in a different structure. Social and behavioral science relies on that kind of thing, with information remaining more or less the same as it's reiterated. And that forms the foundation for what I think of as scientific sense-making. The optional reading by Dana Boyd and co-authors, Sociality and Social Networking Sites, it's an example of this scientific type of sense-making. And some scientific sense-making will be required reading in future weeks. But we will also always have storytelling because it's one of my preferred forms of sense-making in the chaotic landscape that is social media. And one of my other preferred forms is humor. People still struggle to understand what you could only maybe call sense-making here. Internet memes and rage comics, I love these, and we're going to look at those a little bit together as well. So are you ready to discuss the content? I'm going to say you're probably still getting through it, so I'm not going to say too much about it, but I'm going to present you some questions to consider as you read it and as you create your discussion posts this week. A few core concepts that I'd like you to think about include defining social media. Number one, what is social media and what is not social media? Number two, identity. What choices inform ourselves as they are manifested online, by ourselves and by others? What tattoos, as Juan Enriquez refers to them, are we wearing and creating and seeing? Who designed them? Who owns them? And how might they be said to be designing us? Number three, permanence. How is history changing as it reflects online decisions and actions recorded minutely, communally, personally, and even accidentally? Number four, social activism. How does social media help manifest social activism? How do they hinder it? How do they perfect or distort its messages? Precursors and convergence. I bet technology is doing something entirely new. For your fifth core concept here, precursors and convergence, whenever you consider a new platform, I'd like you to ask, what is it doing that humans have always done? Idealism, number six. We love social media, but is it really responsible for all of the wonders we attribute to it? And when we dress it in these laurels, when we attribute godlike powers to it, who benefits? And who and what processes get overlooked? Resistance and inclusion, number seven, that's the final considered concept for this week, by me anyway. Look at what Boyd refers to as hybridity, using features from two different worlds. How is socializing online extending, mimicking, or conflicting with more traditional social spaces? And how can we make it more inclusive? I'll leave you with that, and I look forward to seeing my students in D2L this week and any comments that anyone else wants to leave. Thank you.